if you look back in 2000, there were 3 prominent players in the video delivery business, right? You had the incumbent, Blockbuster, right? And then you had Redbox that was really a marketing play from McDonald's, but they saw that it was catching. And then you had Reed Hastings from Netflix. So real quickly, you guys, your negative voices, well, Reed Hastings, he's like the Rocket Mortgage of that industry. This isn't helping me execute. Reed Hastings had no money. He had no brand, but he had a disruptive approach to the market. He knew what was going to happen with the market. Every one of you in this room knows what's happening with the market. It doesn't take a physicist, right? That's why you're here, because you know all this disruption's coming and happening with automation. So Reed Hastings goes down to Blockbuster's headquarters and pitches them on the, let's go take the world, you guys at the store, and I'll send my red envelopes, and we'll do this thing. And they laughed him out of there. And at that time, Blockbuster had a $3 billion market cap, but they were complacent. They wanted to keep milking the cow. They wanted to keep doing what they're doing. And so the way I look at this, and again, the parallels to the mortgage industry is, we're at this fork in the road, and there's really 3 roads to travel. You can go down, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. It's worked so far. I think I'm going to be fine, which is what your negative voice is going to try to convince you to do. That's the voice's job. Or you can go in the middle, which was what Redbox did. So Redbox kind of dabbled in innovation. They could kind of see, like, are people really going to keep coming to McDonald's to grab DVDs? And they tried to innovate, and they did okay, but they didn't go all in. And the funny thing is with Reed Hastings is when he was at Blockbuster, he already had his team working on streaming videos through the internet. He had already said, we're going to cannibalize our own business. We're getting out of the DVD delivery business. This is a content play. And he leveraged 3 things. What I like to say is he exploited 3 weaknesses of his major competitor. And I believe in my research leading up to being blessed enough to hang out with you guys for this half a week or so, what I see is the exact same parallels, and those exact same exploitable weaknesses are what is going on with some of these electronic delivery, Rocket Mortgage type mortgage offerings, right? So what Reed Hastings did is he did 3 things. He said, number 1, it's about the team. It's about the vibe. How do we want to show up? Who do you want to work with? Right now, you guys have no shortage of whiny people in the office. They want to go out, and oh my gosh, I think they're going to cut our PTO next, and who's going to get fired? That is a waste of time. World-class people hang out with world-class people. They hang out with positive people. Reed Hastings had started another company and sold it for $750 million, but he was embarrassed about the vibe he had created at his company. So with Netflix, he's like, I'm doing it different. Team first. We're going to have each other's back. A players only, right? So some of you in this room say, well, I don't have a big team, or I don't have a budget. Who cares? You're a team of 1. So how does the team show up? Is the team, Steve, the FedEx guy who's smiling and happy and jacked up because he, did his habits in the morning that led to personal excellence? Or is he the grumpy UPS guy, right? The second thing Reed Hastings identified, which I think is an even bigger opportunity for all of you in this room, is customer service. He was like, we are going to over-deliver to our customers. They're going to have an experience with us where the days of, you go to Blockbuster and they start jacking up your late fees because your husband forgot to return the DVD or whatever. That's not happening. What Reed Hastings decided that Netflix is going to go in the other direction and totally over-deliver where you're like, this is incredible. This company's phenomenal. Again, Blockbuster was asleep. They had not built a world-class team. They didn't have an innovator and a disruptor mindset. And they didn't realize it was about the customer experience. Rocket Mortgage cannot create the customer experience that the best version of every one of you in this room can create. It can't be replicated. That is not a problem. That is an opportunity. This is the time. We're at the fork in the road, right? Now, the third thing that Reed Hastings did is he went deep on personalization, right? Which, again, your negative voice can say, well, that's different. This is about, he was suggesting what videos you should watch next based on your viewing habits. It was about personalization. It was about knowing your clients. And Todd threw a nugget, hopefully you guys didn't miss last night, which is, what about your former clients? What about your former customers? My son's 11th birthday is on Sunday. What do you think I would think of receiving a nice note saying, hey, excited for Alexander's 11th birthday. I included a Tom Brady football card. I know he loves the Patriots. What does that say? Right? It's like, oh my gosh, this lady gets it. All of you have an opportunity to personalize how you interact. It's about personal, everything is about relationships. So you can leverage Reed Hastings' approach on personalizing how you deliver to your former clients, your current clients, and your future clients. And that is all about being a disruptor and deciding that disruption is the path to personal excellence. Of course it's uncomfortable. Todd was just talking about it on the intro, you guys. Here's a key question. We all know the answer, but think about it. When's the last time you did anything great in your life when it was easy? Right? When's the last time you grew in calm waters? Because here's the cool thing about life. You do not reveal your best character attributes, until you're getting hammered, till you're getting crushed, till, Cody, things are changing, man. We better change this thing. And then you watch, like, elevate. That's what world-class people do. They elevate, right? So that mindset of deciding that you're going to disrupt. So here's how this played out. We all know how this played out, but let me just give you some numbers. Blockbuster, 2010, bankrupt, gone, $3 billion valuation out the window. Redbox, partial innovator, right? They changed their watch, right? Mine's still on the right hand, thanks to Todd, and then they changed it back. I don't know if we can really disrupt this whole thing. We're still just trying to get people to McDonald's, right? They ended up selling, though, to a private equity firm for $1.7 billion. Nothing to, laugh at, right? And then you have Reed Hastings. And Netflix market cap right now is $150 billion. And if you study Reed Hastings, he is always in a state of trying to disrupt what they do. He's not sitting on his market cap going, we're good, man. We're killing it, you guys. Get to this thing. We're the market leader. He is constantly looking over his shoulder. He's constantly elevating his game. And the opportunity to emulate that world-class leader is there for the taking, right? I just have a couple minutes left, so I just want to summarize. His 3 things that he executed on, again, were vulnerabilities that he exploited based on what was going on in a disruptive market. Right? So number 1, he built a world-class team. Number 2, he went deep on customer service and the customer experience. And then number 3, he went in on personalization. Let's make this about the individual, not about whether I'm going to get them to refinance or do a mortgage or buy their second home or whatever. It's about relationships. And then the real brilliance of Reed Hastings, and I would argue Dave Liniger and Todd Duncan and Bill McDermott and all of these world-class people, they realize the vehicle to personal excellence is their mindset and how they show up. Todd had you guys stand up last night, right? Last night was fabulous. I love the vibe, the energy, right? We're like, let's take the mountain. At one point he said, how many of you guys are leaders? And you stood up, right? Yeah, cool, I brought my team. But here's the interesting thing. My definition of a leader is anyone who is in a position to be observed by others. Which means if you breathe, if you leave your house, you're leading. And when you position yourself and you authentically embrace that label of being a leader, you show up differently. You decide to be Steve, the FedEx dude, instead of grumpy UPS guy, right? And then you are the example to your team as you navigate the waters. Because guess who people look towards when the boat's getting rocked? The captain, right? So my invitation, again, we're at this fork in the road. You can go left, which is keep milking the cow. This is what we do. We're fine, you guys. Don't worry about it. And you can end up being the Blockbuster of the mortgage industry. You can be Redbox, which is you're trying to innovate. You switch your watch. You switch it back. I don't know if I'm going to do this thing or not. Or you're going, you know what? It's uncomfortable, but I am going to be the Netflix of myself. I'm not telling you guys you're going to go build the next Rocket Mortgage. This is an opportunity to exploit the weaknesses of the shift towards technology and people taking market share. Forget that. You don't have to worry about Rocket whoever. all you deserve to do is be your best you through your habits. Maybe it's the Bible, maybe it's water, maybe it's joining me tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock to get jacked up on energy and positivity. Maybe it's tapping into the brilliance of your peers here with a simple question, which is, Cody, how come you haven't mentioned what's going on with the downturn in the market? And then just listen. And you know what world-class people do? They share their playbook. This is an open book. The playbook doesn't matter. You guys are getting the playbook here. The mindset matters.